Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. Obaseki ignores APC Factional Edo Assembly as he approved new board for their super deck. This is serious. So what's really going on? Don't forget that the faction that went to inaugurate themselves as a secret destination without the constitution, without the way it should be done in accordance with the law, have been trying to give Obaseki directive, but right now the governor is outrightly, blanking them and doing what he feels is best right, not just for himself, but for Edo State. Constitutionally, these people have lost the right to be legislators in Edo State. They've lost the right. According to Nigerian Constitution, if you are elected to the House as a legislator, and you omit or for some reasons you are out of the House meetings for 180 days, your seat can be declared vacant by the Speaker of the House, and the new by-election can be conducted in Nigeria in the case you inform INEC and things are done decently and in order. But what happened is that we heard the Attorney General of the Federation talking about the person of Abubakar Malami saying that he gave them security. He gave them security. And you begin to wonder what is really going on in this nation. Is he the definition of the law, or we are guarded by the law as a democratic environment? By the way, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time we're reaching you today. A very warm thank you to every one of you for being there. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and to subscribe if this is your first time. It's about Governor Godwin Obaseki and the legislators who have gone to inaugurate themselves outside the House of Assembly. Let's ride on straight into the news and get all the details. Obaseki ignores APC faction Edo Assembly as he approves new board for their super deck. Legislators elect that inaugurated themselves in a clearly unconstitutional faction of Edo State Assembly are forming and fuming over Governor Godwin Obaseki's working with the known Edo Assembly and in total disregard of their existence. Approval of the appointment of new board into the super deck recall that the Edo State House of Assembly at a preliminary sitting in Benin City on Monday, August the 17th, 2020, and led by the Speaker, Frank Okoye, and two civil commissioners and 3 commissioners for the super deck, the Edo State Oil and Gas Producing Area Development Commission. Those cleared were 2 commissioners designated in Lawrence and Alex, while Charles and Adewale and Daniel were confirmed as commissioner for the super deck. The approval of the new board of the super deck by Governor Godwin Obaseki has now worsened the case of the APC faction Edo Assembly as an illegal entity with no constitutional validity. However, those appointed into the new board were approved by Obaseki, including Mr. Kenneth Osifo, Chairman Mrs. Omosode Obawere, representing Ovie Northeast, Mr. Osarime Atio, representing Orowane, and Mr. Williams Dada, representing Igbode Okada, and Mr. Wrighton, representing North, Princess Mrs. Iko Ewayere, and others were inaugurated and appointed. The faction Edo Assembly, who called the valid Edo State House of Assembly a tradition of law, are warning Obaseki to be mindful of the separation of power as constituted in the Constitution and ask him to stop his disregard for the Constitution. It's interesting, the unconstitutional fractional assembly also gave directive to the State Commissioner of Police, the Department of State Security Service, DSS, and command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and every other security agencies to forthwith stop giving security escort to the member of the legitimate House of Assembly Imagine people who are yet to be admitted into the assembly floor, who gathered in a private house to declare themselves Edo State House of Assembly, now giving order to security agencies. People who should be under arrest by now. This is a joke APC and Oshomole has turned Edo State into. My dear, this is the joke of the century. Can you hear them talking about constitution? That Obaseki is not regarding them according to Nigerian constitution. In the first place, did you regard yourself? According to Nigerian constitution, you should be nowhere near the House of Assembly. The Nigerian constitution says if you are out of the House of Assembly for 180 days, you are out. You're talking about following constitution. For crying out loud, you're the one who was, who was inaugurated without following the constitution of Nigeria. And it's a sad thing to say, with no affiliation, no regard for either APC or PDP, to be candid, because these people at the end of the day are politicians. And in my own view, I feel youths of today should rise up. You see, that's why when Omoyele Sowore is calling for revolution, I don't blame him. These people, the likes of Olusegun Obasanjo, Buhari, Atiku, many of them, when they were young men when they started politics. But of course, there is what we call greed. It will never want them to allow, the young ones to come on board so that they can, be directors and guide so that Nigeria can move forward. What's happening today? Nigeria is still analog when the rest of the world has moved on to digital, when things are moving in fast pace. Why is it that up till now, very few, if we have, for instance, in 100%, just 2% are youths over 35 occupying any meaningful position? Go to states, how many of them are commissioners? If we keep going around the same circle, how can we ever move forward if we continue in a kind of pace like that? When there are young people in this country, youths, when there are people, educated, lawyers, administrators, people that are gifted and those who have studied it in school, that can give clear-cut direction for this nation to move forward. At the end of the day, where are we? Abubakar Malami, his position was not, he wasn't voted for by Nigerians. Did you hear about his manifesto? Did he come to you asking you why he should be and giving you reasons why he should be the Attorney General of the Federation? Of course, no. Muhammadu Buhari was one of those, he appointed people into position that will not question his authority, that will work in his bid. And because they are in the same party, guess what he did? Abubakar Malami dare open his mouth to say, yes, I gave them security in this country. Are we following the rule of law? Americans have told us time and time again that Nigerians have no regard for the rule of law. There are a lot of things wrong in this country. Whatever the case is, we would like you to leave us a comment. And don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.